So we have the Godhead, which is called the Trinity these days, and there's a bit of confusion over it, and I want to show you how I look at it. So 1 John 5:7 says, "For there are three," notice three underlined, "that bear record in heaven, the Father, the Word, and the Holy Ghost. And these three are one." Notice the one underlined. So the adversary has people fighting over whether God is one or three. But as 1 John 5:7 says, he's both. Whoa. What a revelation, right? They're both right. Now, if you go to the modern Hebrew alphabet, I say modern because there is a ancient Paleo-Hebrew alphabet as well. Looks a little different. But in the modern Hebrew alphabet, you have three things that are one. You have the letter, which has a number and a symbol. You get it? So there is a letter, a number, and a symbol. These three are one. Do we see that? So let's start at the top. On the top left, you have what is called the aleph, and the sound is silent, as you can see. And we are moving to the name. It's aleph. And the meaning is an ox. That is the symbol. And the numerical value is 1. So you have the letter, you have the meaning or symbol, and you have the number that it equals. And these three are 1. Now, let's sit back and think for a second. Which one came first? In the way that we look at God, an eternal God that always was, none of them came first. They have always existed together. In other words, the way that we do things, let's say we created a letter or a word, get it? And let's say that after that we decided, let's make this letter or word a symbol, and let's make it a numerical value. I don't believe that's the way that it works with God. I believe that they have all three been in existence from eternity past. That's how three are one. So automatically, if you're thinking of the number 1 in the Hebrew, you're automatically thinking of the letter aleph. And you're automatically thinking of the symbol ox. You see that? So there are three that are one, just like God. So they are all equal in nature, but they all represent one thing. You see that? Just like the Father and the Son, right? We think the Father comes first because we look at it naturally, and then the Son comes later. But when we look at God, the Father and the Son have always existed together in eternity past. We can't understand that, but that's the way that God is. Just like this right here. So many of these things that I step back and look at Christians go back and forth over have been set up for people to fight about when really there's another solution. There's another way to understand these things. Like this side wants to be right and that side wants to be right, but there's a larger truth to what they're arguing over. And that's kind of what God has opened me up to. That's why I can't listen to most people out there. You have to step back and see why this is and what's really going on. And again, this is just one subject of many that Christians fight over because really neither side understands correctly. Just like, oh, what about salvation? Is it I can believe one day and then go and be changeless and do what I was doing before and nothing changes? Or do I have to do works to be saved? But really, the truth is that when God truly saves you, he regenerates you and changes you himself. So the works that come are from God changing you on the inside, them manifesting outside. So that's really the truth. But you have the two extremes: the changeless gospel with no regeneration, and the gospel where you do the work to try to regenerate yourself, and neither one are correct. You see, and this is, I believe, the last days. Part of the deception is that people are being pitted against each other. Neither one of the sides understand really the truth.